So we looked at past, we looked at present, now let's look at future. So if you, oh, I need a new paper. This is getting quite full. I'll just make another one. So if you want to say something that you're going to interact with in the future, you attach 릴 to this conjugation before the noun. For example, 살 집은 비싸지 않아요. 살 집. 살다, this is from the verb 사다, which means to buy. And it becomes 살 집, which means the house that I will buy in the future. The house that I'll buy in the future is 비싸지 않아요. It's not expensive. 비싸다 means to be expensive, but then this 지 않아요 one makes it not expensive. The 릴 is so hard for me to pronounce. Me too. I am not perfect at it either. So you can add to an action verb soon to talk about a noun that you will interact with in the future. This means a noun that I will verb, or a noun to verb in the future. For example, the friend I'll meet, or a book to read. All right, so very quickly, 사다 means to buy. It becomes 살. 살다 is tricky. It ends in a 릴, so it also becomes 살. So again, these ones conjugate the same way, and you have to know from context which one it means, because it does look identical. One means to buy and one means to live. We have 사랑하다, which means to love. So 사랑할, noun is a noun to love, or a noun I will love. 돕다 means to help, so 도울, noun is a person or a thing to help. And that's if there's no final consonant. If there is a final consonant, you attach noun. So 받다 becomes 받을, noun. 먹다 becomes 먹을, noun. 듣다 becomes 들을, noun. Again, this 듣다 is a regular verb. So, a noun to receive, a noun to eat, a noun to listen to. And let's just do a couple very quick examples. Let's do this first one here. 내일 아침에 먹을 빵이에요. 내일 아침에. That means tomorrow morning. At tomorrow morning, 내일 아침에. At or in this time particle showing that at some time, 먹을 빵. So this is where the key thing comes here. This before the noun shows that it's a noun you're going to do this action to in the future. And this action is to eat. 먹다 is to eat. So a 먹을 빵 is a noun or bread. 빵 is bread. Bread that you are going to eat at this time, tomorrow morning. And again, this 이에요 is what you use to say it is something. So this is the bread I'll eat tomorrow morning. If someone's pointing at a bread on the table and they're like, what is that? You can say, 내일 아침에 먹을 빵이에요. It's the bread that I'm going to eat tomorrow. I've left it out for now, but I'll eat it tomorrow. The bread I will eat tomorrow morning, not I'll eat bread tomorrow morning. Yes. Key difference there, because you're sort of focusing on the noun in this sentence. 먹을 빵. If you wanted to say, I'll eat bread tomorrow morning, it would be 내일 아침에 빵을 먹을 거예요. That's using the future tense to say, tomorrow morning I will eat bread. Tomorrow morning I'll eat bread, versus this sentence, which means this thing here, this thing that I'm looking at, is the bread that I'm going to eat tomorrow. So, little difference. 빵을 먹을 거예요. It's the same thing. Yeah, that's I will eat bread tomorrow. 사라가, let's look at this next one. 사라가 읽을 책이에요. Sara is a person, Sarah, and this is the book that she will read. 읽다, to read. 읽을 책 is the book that she will read. And there's no time specified here in this sentence. The last sentence we had a specified time, but this is just a book that she's going to read at some point in the future that we don't know when exactly, but at some point she'll read this book. And let's look at this one, something a little bit different. 우리는 볼 영화를 골랐어요. 우리는, so we, talking about a group of people, we 볼 영화. What does that mean? A 볼 영화. 영화 is a movie. And this verb here is another very common verb to do with watching movies. Oh, I just gave it away. But what would this be if you were to translate this into English? A 볼 영화. Yes, it comes from the verb 보다, which means to watch. 보다 means to watch. So a 볼 영화, remember this lir when it becomes at the bottom, it makes it a future tense noun modifying form. Hali about, yeah, the movie we will watch. The movie we will watch, 골랐어요. 골랐어요 means to choose or pick. So, we chose a movie to watch. Now, notice how the tenses can get interesting, right? Because, yes, right? This here is the future tense form, but this here is the past tense form, right? 골라요 would just be present tense. 골랐어요 is I chose. I chose in the past, or I picked in the past. But this sentence is fine, right? We say the same thing in English. I chose a movie to watch. We chose a movie to watch in the future, right? That makes perfect sense. You wouldn't say, I chose a movie to watched, right? You wouldn't say that. You wouldn't say I chose a movie to watched. That doesn't make sense. And it's the same thing in Korean. 볼 영화를 골랐어요. We chose a movie to watch. And let's look at this last one just to finish things out. 마당에 심을 나무를 샀어요. Alright, so there might be some words here that we're unfamiliar with, but let's just break it down. 마당에. 마당에 is a noun. It's a noun to do with your house, and it's a specific place in your house, actually kind of outside. It is I think it's your front yard. Could be your backyard though. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe it's just your yard. 마당 is your yard. Is it front yard or backyard? If everyone knows for sure if it's front yard or backyard, let me know. But somewhere in your yard of your house. 심다. 심다 means to plant. So in the yard, a 심을 나무. 심을 나무 just says it's yard. Okay, yeah, it could be either front yard or backyard. Maybe it's just yard. 마당에, in the yard, 심을 나무, a 나무. What about 나무? Does anyone know what 나무 means in Korean? And you can probably have a good guess from knowing 심다 is to plant too. Something that you're going to plant, yes, valekron. It means a tree. A 나무 is a tree. 마당에 심을 나무를 샀어요. So, 샀어요 means to buy. So I bought a tree to plant in the yard, right? So this planting hasn't happened yet. You're going to do it in the future, but you bought the tree that you will plant in the yard. So, we bought a tree to plant in our yard. And that's the three tenses, essentially. And again, this is not to be confused with the object particle. It can look identical, it can sound identical, but the object particle is only attached to nouns, and this noun modifying form is only attached to verbs. But those are all three. The future, we looked at the past, and we looked at the present. And don't worry if this still seems a bit confusing. I know it took me a little while just to get used to it. But hopefully you've gotten an introduction and you can take from this some knowledge that you can apply to your language in the future. It is a very useful grammar form to know, and it is used all the time. So it is helpful.